Hello there, it's your friendly neighborhood coach, Dr. Wu, and I'm listening. So I was trying something new. Facebook asked me to kind of do a presentation, but I can't really find it. I don't know. So anyway, it's Friday, it's 5:30, so I will talk about what I love to talk about, which is getting us from the stress response into the relaxed response. Okay, so our brains are pretty amazing, created, and when there's stress, it's like a car alarm, beep beep beep, and that's when our heart rate goes up, our breathing gets shallow, and we go into the fight, flight, freeze, or even fix mode, and which is okay. If it's, occasionally, let's say you're trying to avoid a car accident or you're trying to study hard for an exam, that's okay. That's actually, so some stress can be good. That's okay. But unfortunately, in this environment with the pandemic and just the way things are going, and the other things that happened, right? All the racial injustices and all the abuses of power with lack of PPE, for our frontline, right? Health providers. Yeah, so that's just been a lot of chronic stress, okay? Even bordering on actually trauma, because remember, trauma is things that are totally unnatural, like a pandemic is not natural, okay? It's not something we woke up and expected. So, yeah, so we've actually been quite traumatized. So the human body is not really meant to function optimally at chronic baseline stress, all right? It's supposed to be like mostly peaceful and a little bit of stress, and then peace, 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 and a little bit of stress, and that's the way we're supposed to function. That's kind of not what's been going on, all right? If anything, last year it was sort of, the stress kept going up, right? Because the pandemic, then the quarantine, then the racial riots, and the political unrest. I mean, it was actually going up. So maybe now we're going down. But either way, we've got to recover our mind, body, and spirit, right? So the number one thing to get us from the stressed nervous system into the peace zone, the parasympathetic nervous system, is bringing on the breath. So that is my pillar. That's my first to go skill that I teach everyone that I work with, my clients, because you've got to actually be in the relaxed state of your nervous system so that your the primitive brain, can actually go take a backseat in the car, and then your brilliant higher functioning brain, the human brain, can come take the wheel, right? Take the wheel and make the best decisions for us, all right? Because when the brain is actually traumatized and the critter brain is constantly driving the car, not so good things happen. Either you're going to be hyper vigilant, right? And hyper aroused and just angry and just very irritable, or you're going to be hypo aroused where you actually get depressed and possibly even despairing of life and suicidal, So we've got to stay in that zone. It's called the zone of tolerance. And I like to actually phrase it as the rivers. Let's see, how do I do this? The rivers of peace. Yeah, the rivers of peace. Oh, that's a good one. The rivers of peace. So how do we do that? There's a bunch of things that we can do. But the number one thing that you can do at all times, and you can control it with your mind, with your will, is your breath. So you bring on the breath, all right? 5 in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Always make sure the exhalation is longer than the inhalation, and that activates the peace nervous system, the peace center, all right? Remember, this cannot be going off all the time, okay? It affects your inflammatory systems, which affects your high blood pressure, your heart, right? The cardiac vessels, your GI system. Oh my goodness, if this is always on, the stress, you're actually not digesting very well. You're going to have reflux, indigestion, and you're actually not digesting the nutrients, and you're going to be developing some insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, right? And also the weight gain that we don't want. So it's all connected. Plus, if this is going on all the time, the alarm beep, 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 your immune system is also affected too. So in this, age of viruses and so forth, we want our immune system to be working quite well, all right? So remember, we've got to master this one. So bring on the breath, all right? So it could be 3 in, 5 out. It could be 5 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be 7 in and then 11 out. And the counting mentally also helps actually quiet down the brain and get the critter brain to get in the back seat and the brilliant prefrontal cortex brain to come and drive the car, right? To the destination you want to go, not where the destination you don't want to go, because that will affect your relationships, your communication skills, just the way you perceive the world, and the sense of danger versus safety. So it affects so much. There's so much to talk about. But yeah, so just bring on the breath. Absolutely, bring on the breath. And then if you're really having a panic attack, remember, panic attack and anxiety would be where? It would be the hyperarousal, right? You bumped out of that stream of peace, right? And so for the anxiety and panic attacks, grounding is very important. So the grounding I love to do is use 5 senses. You can do this anywhere, right? So you engage your 5 senses, because when you're in that panic zone, in that stress zone, and the critter brain's in charge, you literally are not able, the brain is not functioning integrally, so that you are actually not in the present. You're actually either triggered into a past memory or some kind of response, something your body remembered. So in order to get you back in the present, right, get the critter brain to kind of, again, say that it's safe and get in the back seat so your brilliant brain can come and drive the car again. So grounding with 5 senses. 5 colors, 5 things you can see. Now I'm seeing silver, black, blue lights, yellow lights, red thing on my fob here on the keychain, and that's 5. And then 4 is very important. 4 is actually touch, and that's something I really specialize in with the EMDR and havening technique. I think it's amazing, and it's obviously, very scientifically, now that science is it's finally catching up to the centuries of the knowledge and medical knowledge that we've had, right? About meditation and tapping and all these things. So again, so havening, you can actually just kind of caress your face like this. That is very helpful, very calming, very soothing. It's like a child, when you're trying to soothe a child, kind of like this, like when your daddy's holding, yes, I love you, sweetie pie. And then this one's very, very important for havening. And this, again, just stroking your upper arms like this, very soothing, very soothing. Because when you do this, the physical body goes, hey, somebody's calming me down, and this is something I would do when I am safe. So there's obviously no tiger chasing me, and so the body literally tells the brain, hey, somebody is doing this nice soothing on my body, it must be safe. So then the critter brain goes, okay, I hear you, physical body, I got the signal, I'm going to take a back seat, I'm going to let the brilliant brain take the wheel again. So that's how it works, okay? So 4 is touch. So if you're actually having a panic attack driving because you've had a car accident or other trauma before, and I actually know about that. So you can actually tapping the steering wheel while you're driving will help, okay? Again, touch. Also, feel, if you're sitting down, feel your bottom being supported by the chair. Just that acknowledging that support is amazing. Or if you're standing, like I'm standing, I can actually feel that the ground is supporting me. And that just really calms down again, right? Calms down the system into that peace center, right? Relaxed state, calm state. So then 5 was vision, things you can see. 4 is things you can touch. 3 is actually sounds. What do you hear? And I think my RoboCop is going off. It's totally broken. It goes on and off all times a day. Anyway, the Robo vacuum. I call it RoboCop. And so 3 is things you can hear. 2 is things you can smell. And this is where aromatherapy, essential oils, these are very, very helpful. So a lot of people just have their favorite scents. There's a whole bunch for anxiety and depression now, and also many diseases. And they just kind of have it on their wrist. When if they're feeling anxious or so on, they actually will just, smell, and that grounds them, because it's one of the 5 senses. And the last one is taste. And sometimes it's hard to have a taste. So I've actually changed that and modified it to really 1 praise or 1 prayer or 1 gratitude. Because remember, when gratitude really precedes, praise precedes the victory. So gratitude really opens up the whole nervous system also. It really does, okay, into that relaxed, calm state. So again, just This is my basic first lesson of when I'm actually working with a client as we're going through wholeness, whatever we're working on, whether it's grief, the journey through grief, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's actually traumatic stress, and everybody's been traumatized, either, childhood or adulthood, bullying, and some, frontline workers, a lot of moral injury. That's actually trauma, and I know we call it burnout. And so I'm trying to do a 10 tips on 10 myths about burnout. So I'm working on that one too. So just, and also, hopelessness or even any addictions, so the first thing to do is to actually come out of the hyperarousal and to come back to that peaceful state again. Got to get into that relaxed state so we can get the brilliant brain, right? Driving in the driver's wheel. Anyway, be blessed, everyone. There's the antidote to stress. Really, there is, the breathing. There are so many antidotes to stress, and to help us go from the stress. We have the power. We have the knowledge. We have the skills. We have the power. We have the power to move from a stressed physiological state into a relaxed, calm, and peaceful state. We really do. Shalom, peace. That's what I'm all about. Shalom. Shalom, peace. That means everything mended, all the broken pieces from life, injuries, right? Traumas. They are now actually put together with God's golden love and healing and light. And actually creating a more noble vase. Because our life experiences, good or bad, actually they become our superpowers. That can become our gift to the world. And as my own journey through PTS, and so I'm trying to share my tools, because it just breaks my heart. The physicians that are despairing of life because they've been traumatized in the front line, and but there are in the systems there's so much abuse and violations of human rights, and so it's a lot. It's a lot, and a lot of people doing that. Facing those difficulties and traumas. So I'm out here. Anybody wants to check things out, there's a website, there is a course. You can always just join my Facebook group. There I always put a daily, quote, and you can always reach me. I am honored, and I would love to share these skills with you. These are just really, I wish these were basic skills that all people kind of knew, maybe like in school, learn how to actually go from the stress zone into the calm and peace zone. Shalom, peace. You are blessed. May you have a blessed weekend. Connect with the people that you can connect with, because that also brings healing, gets us into that calm zone. And take good care of yourself. Okay, everyone. Nourish yourself, mind, body, and spirit. You are loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. You are so accepted. You are so invited. You belong. You are safe. And if you're not safe, please make sure you are safe. Reach out for help. But you are safe. You belong. You are loved. The Lord has created you to be wonderful and amazing. You're an amazing, unique child of God. And you are blessed. Be blessed. Shalom, peace, everyone. Shalom, peace. Shalom, peace.